stay conservative, run the ball here on third down.
Here's Richardson. He takes it in for his first NFL touchdown. And Pittman takes it inside the 20, the 10, towards the end zone. Touchdown on 2nd and 28. The Colts capitalize. Richardson to Pittman, 39 yards.
Good evening, everybody. We are kicking with the crew. It's your boy Leroy. Got my guy Zach here with me. For just yesterday night. Hope everybody's having a great weekend, and welcome back to college football. Even though I ain't so happy today, I just look like I'm smiling, man. My Gators got thromped today by Zach's Miami Hurricanes over there, man. It's still you down, man.
For at least for 1 week, I can go like this. You know?
Yeah, I'm salty right now. We got our asses whooped, man. But hopefully everybody out there is having a great weekend. Got our guy Joey here. What's up, though, Zach? How you doing this weekend, man?
I'm good, man. Just working a bunch. Enjoying the few days off I have. Gonna kick it with the family. Went and saw a movie. Went and ate some food earlier today that I shouldn't have eaten. Blew my diet completely out the water. Old lady and I went on like a lunch date, and I was just kind of like, you know what? We ain't gone on one of those in forever. Who needs a diet? Overate, feel like crap, but ready to lock in, talk some Colts ball. So that's what's important.
There you go, man. Yeah, definitely happy to get back to it. And with that being said, we are actually just 8 days away. 8 days away from Colts football. Obviously, 5 days away from NFL football. I know everybody's getting ready to tune in for the Chiefs and the Ravens. And then on Friday, they're actually bringing us football again with the Eagles and the Packers playing in Brazil. So, man, it's going to be a great one. Really good to have it back. Love having college football back. Like I said, even if my team did lose, I can't. All I can do is really talk and hope that they back it up. But it's definitely good to have it all back, man. So we're going to bring it to y'all. I know last week we discussed, it was me and Trev. I can't remember. I want to say Damon came on later, but I don't think he did last week. So can't exactly remember. But we went through some roster breakdowns and everything, and kind of just went from there. So from that, looks like our quarterbacks were Sam Ehlinger, Joe Flacco, and Anthony Richardson. Obviously, were there any surprises for you there, Zach?
Yeah. I thought Bean should have gotten that QB3 spot. I mean, just based on how he played. I mean, I know you and I personally aren't really big fans of PFF, you more so than me, but, when PFF ranks you as the best preseason passer out of all the quarterbacks that played in the preseason, which is a ton, that kind of holds weight. And I kind of feel like, yes, I know Sammy has 2 starting games experience, one versus Washington, one versus New England.
Yep.
But for me, I look at it like, scheme. Who fits the scheme better? And the entire preseason, Beam was a boss. And I truly feel like, at least in my opinion, dude got screwed out of a spot just because Ehlinger's on a rookie deal and, been the veteran. Like, I feel like Bean deserved to make the roster.
Yeah, I will say, did you have more?
That's my only offensive gripe that I have. Like, offensively, I basically agree with everything else, but I think Bean not making the roster was a travesty.
Yeah, man, it was a weird one because of the fact that they changed the rules back to what they originally were. There's no more emergency QB. And a lot of people were surprised by that and thinking that this just came out of nowhere. If you listen to the Colts official podcast, the rule was actually changed in July. So they actually changed the rule back in July. They sent out a memo to all the teams that the emergency quarterback was gone. So teams all knew about this well before the cutdown date, which was surprising to see that most teams didn't, already have this prepared. And then I also, like you said, I thought it was pretty surprising That Bean didn't make the roster again, but I think what really put Sam over the top was the fact that he had in-game experience in the NFL already. And then just like you said as well with the PFF, I really think the NFL only takes PFF into their aspects is when they want to put up their numbers and show fans that you can go look at some numbers for it. Because me personally, like you said, I don't believe in it too much. At first I was a believer in it until I started seeing real flaws in the way that they would do stuff. You know, you could have quarterbacks have very similar games and one be graded way higher than the other, and it was just crazy to me, or a receiver or something. So I just thought that was there was some errors in the way that they did their work. But again, like you said, Bean was the highest rated quarterback in all the preseason. But to me, it wasn't the biggest surprise that we got him back or that he didn't make the roster because of the fact that he cleared waivers and nobody else put in for him. So, you know, it kind of made sense, you know, that of where it was. So, thought that was pretty good there. No overall gripes for me as well. Did hate that they took out that rule. It also sucks that all of the fans, we were kind of made aware of it well after the fact that it was already sent out to teams. So we were kind of just thinking, oh, the NFL sucks. And it's like they had already made this rule change and teams knew.
Yeah, I mean, it's rather unfortunate. I just hope that maybe later on in the year, you don't need a Sammy. So you bump Sammy down. You feel comfortable rolling with 2, and you open up that extra roster spot for someone that actually needs it and uses it.
Yeah. Like hopefully our guy Samson Ebukam, who would be, you know, if he recovers, can make it back for the playoffs.
Long shot. Like
it is.
I've never had a torn Achilles, or is it an ACL? I think it's an Achilles.
Achilles.
Yeah, I've never had a torn Achilles. I can't speak to it. Don't know how long the recovery is, but it's a long shot based on if they're saying it's like a whole, was it 8 months? 8 months time frame.
The best that they could possibly maybe find is what was it? The Cam Akers recovery that took 6 months or whatever it was, 6.5 months that he recovered from it. That was best case scenario, but you know that's still a rarity. So
I thought Rodgers had one. I thought Ron Rodgers had one that was he recovered just as fast as Akers. I don't know though.
I don't think Rodgers ever. I was about to say I don't think Rodgers ever fully recovered, and it was more so them throwing it out there that if the Jets are in contention, he'll keep trying to push his way back. Like if they would have made it to like the divisional round of the playoffs, then you know, that would have looked more likely. But I don't think it was ever like a real chance that he was going to make it back that year.
Fair enough.
And then real quick, got a new uploaded video here from our sponsor. Shout out to ZTV. Throw that in there real quick. So we got some new merch here. Go check out ZTV Online right there. It has it right there, ZTVOnlineshop.com. Got new merch out there, so you can go check out all of our stuff is kicking with the crew. Got new logos up there. Got scorestream.com. Go check it out. Check out all your official scores for NFL games, college football, whatever you like to go check out. They are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Got some On Point Golf stuff here. Looks like if you're into golf, I know a lot of people that golf, so if you're interested in any of these, go check them out. Got Lemay's Attorneys, Kentucky and Indiana. If you need an attorney at law, need any help with any law troubles, go ahead and check that out. They're serving in your area. And then last but not least, we got 23wines.com. Got all your fancy wines there. If you're a wine drinker, which I'm primarily not, I feel like it's a little above my age there. But if you are a wine drinker, go ahead and go check that out, man. Got some new stuff there from ZTV. Go check out our merch, though. Kicking with the Crew, bottom left-hand corner. Go check that out. Go check out that merch. Then we got up next, we got running backs. Zach. I know this was a kind of surprise to some fans. But we got Tyler Goodson, Trey Sermon, and Jonathan Taylor. So just kept 3 running backs. Where were you at on this? I know a lot of people were high on Evan Hull and were surprised that he got the the wax there, like we were talking about before with the two quarterbacks in an extra spot. But where were you at on that?
I understand why Hull got the wax because injury probably. I mean, dude did nothing in preseason. Like, and I'm in the games that the parts of the games that I watched. I didn't watch a full preseason game. Like, I either saw the first half, or I would come back home and watch the second half. But from what I saw, he didn't do anything. I know popped his ACL. I think that's what happened. Popped his ACL. I saw a few comments. I mean, there's one right here from Sean King. He looks slow. Absolutely. I saw that multiple places. Dude looks slow. So, I mean, the way I see it is, take this year on the practice squad, get healthy, get healthy, get better, and see what happens. I'm not mad at it. 3 spots. Again, it'll open up. This roster isn't set in stone. It's not going to be solidified until I think after week 4, week 5. There will be not massive, but there will be changes. It always is. The first month of the season, guys come and go. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty tough one. I thought we would have kept 4 running backs personally. But like you said, I mean, I would watch as much as I could as far as preseason goes. But it gets tough to watch when you're watching backups and kind of the lower guys on the roster when games don't really have implications. So it's tough to say exactly how things would go or how far you should keep watching, anything like that. But it was it was one that I thought with Evan Hull that it was kind of split between him and Goodson, but Goodson kind of flashed, and so I also thought that there was a chance that we would have a visit with Dalvin Cook, and Cowboys ended up getting him signed. So it was a tough one there with the situation. So I think we still got our eyes out for a running back. Don't think we'll take 3. I think, like you said, there'll be some changes. Sean King is saying he was slow. I believe he's talking about Evan Hull. If you would clarify for us, in case. Okay.
He is.
After the injury, he was faster. I like Felton better. He scored in our last contest. Yeah, I didn't even check to see, but I'm not sure if Felton made it to our practice squad. I'd have to check that. I don't think he did, but I thought I like Felton as well. Like I felt he ran with some juice. So something that was nice to see there. And then we move over to receivers. We kept 6. So our number 1, Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs. After him, Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, Anthony Gould, and old reliable Ashton Dulin, who always makes it through our cuts on this show.
Always. If you've been with us from the beginning, or at least from my beginning, he's he's a show OG. Like Dulin, we back in the day, talking back when we did this, I think 2 years before COVID, 18 or 19. We all picked him to get cut, and dude kept making the team. Backstory. So there for a while, Damon, one of our co-hosts, we always said it was his favorite player. So Dulin just hangs out. As for those 6, I think those are the appropriate 6 to make the team. You could argue maybe Treadwell makes the team, but I feel like if Treadwell makes the team, I mean, are you really going to get rid of Dulin, who's an all-pro on special teams, a former all-pro on special teams, if you can get back to that? I really think that this is the first time in a long time since Wayne and Harrison that the Colts have a good thing in the receiver room with some depth and some solid bodies. We are 4 deep. And you can truly say if any one of these 4 go down with the injury, I'm confident in the other 3 to be able to carry the weight, or I'm confident in receiver 5 to be able to step up and do what receiver 4 did. It's been a long minute since the Colts had that depth in the room. So for me personally, I think it's a perfect 6. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say I agree completely with that, and I think it's probably if you think about Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne being there, I don't think we have that type of top tier two
No,
at
no,
the
no,
top.
no.
But if you think about the depth that we have, I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever had that type of depth down the roster. So
Mm.
I think it's gonna give us a really good balance. And then from what I've seen from AD Mitchell, I think this dude he's going to be a star in this
He's
league.
always open on all the tape I've
Always
read.
open.
I
mean, even if he's not open, you put it in his vicinity, dude is making the grab.
Yeah.
So I love AD Mitchell. Love what we got down the roster. Love the competition that we got there. It's crazy to see where we went from just about a year ago, where we go from, hey, we need some goddamn receivers, to now it's one of the strengths on this team. So really love to see that from like our guy Sean King here. Appreciate you coming in as well. I believe you are a new commentator. I don't think I've seen your name before, but if you have, I do apologize for missing your name before. I think it's great to see those that we got. And if Ashton Dillon still has that speed that he has, he's always valuable on special teams and a great blocker. So I think our receiver room right there is something that we really can appreciate. I know we've all been waiting on Alec Pierce, all Colts fans as a whole. So hopefully he can continue to build up. You know, he's finally competing with somebody, with Mitchell being in that room. So love what we got going on in the receiver room. And then we move over to tight ends. So it looks like tight ends, I know all of us had some conversation there. We didn't know how many we might keep. We discussed before, we all thought it would pretty much be 4. We thought it'd be a tough cut because we all think Jelani Woods has potential, but he hasn't had the ability to show it at all. But the tight end room ended up figuring itself out. Ended up breaking down to Morley Cox, Kylan Granson, Will Mallory, and Drew Ogletree. Ended up being our final 4. Which most of us kind of thought, just because of the fact that Jelani Woods hasn't been able to stay healthy, has nothing to do with ability. But the room kind of shook out the way we thought it would. Jelani Woods ended up going on to season-ending IR with turf toe injury and surgery. Any thoughts there on that? Can't really say surprise because I think we all figured that.
The best ability is availability, and Jelani ain't doing himself any favors, because when healthy, he's better than any tight end we have on this roster, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point. Dude's got to stay healthy to keep going. If not, he's another Paris Campbell. It's time to move on.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. And I love my guy, Paris Campbell. Oh, yeah. I'm seeing the highlights right now from Jonte, I forgot his last name, from Boise State. Looks like he took about it looked like a 70-yard run.
Yeah,
so he's got to have
6 TDs. So like,
yeah, buddy,
you do that in a college game. You're either the feature back this week, and hey, you're the guy, or he's in the zone. But
I want to see that 40 time, man. Third round pick right there. Third round pick right there. So no surprises for us right there. We're going to move on to the offensive line, where the Indianapolis Colts, as we all know, Chris Ballard has his way of beliefs, and what he believes is building in those trenches, where we kept 10 offensive linemen. Yes, you did not hear me wrong. I said 10 offensive linemen. So we got guard Tanner Bortolini, Blake Freeland, Will Fries, Matt Goncalves, Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, Danny Pinter, Bernard Ryman, Braden Smith, and undrafted free agent guard Dalton Tucker, who's come on late, as of late, as a really good player and is developing into a real solid one. So we have those 10 there. Everybody knows who our starting 5 is, which would be from the left to the right. We got Bernard Ryman, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, and Braden Smith is our starting 5, which most would call one of the tops in the league. One of the best in pass pro, and top 3 in the in run game as far as that goes. So really no surprises there. But then we keep a backup of 5. The crazy thing is our streak is back on of keeping an undrafted free agent. Dalton Tucker made it, rightfully so. The dude has been a dog in the trenches. Any surprises there from you, Zach?
Honestly, the biggest surprise is the fact we kept 10. because I thought for sure we were keeping 9, we were keeping 8. That being said, Dalton Tucker's an absolute dog, and it wouldn't shock me within a year or two if he's pushing Fries for a starting spot or has solidified himself as like a legit backup in this league. Because like all dude did since he joined the Colts is ball. Like really, really, really like him. Colts got a good one in him. Not really. Kind of surprised that Pinter made the team, even after a year off. Like sometimes a year away is bad football-wise. And I thought maybe there might be an older vet or somebody more available. But, again, the Colts keep it in-house. So, outside of Dalton Tucker, not really a big surprise. Just amazed that we kept 10 of them. Like, that's what's up. Just amazed that we kept 10 of them.
Yeah, for sure, man. Reading something here. I was not like you said. I completely agree that the number was 10. That is where I think me and Trev had it at about 9, just because we knew Bauer would go heavy in the trenches. But I thought those extra 2 spots would have probably been used for another linebacker or tight end, and then obviously running back because we thought there would be 4. So definitely the only surprise to me is seeing that there was 10 and not 9. But outside of that, I mean, I think it's totally normal. Who was it? The GM for the Houston Texans, with us coming up this weekend, this upcoming weekend playing against each other, he already said that the Colts have one of the best fronts in the NFL on both offensive end and defensive line. So I just thought it was something really that was pretty good for us to have. And that we're going to be well built in the trenches. And then I also love to see it because a lot of teams, you have a position go down on your offensive line and you just struggle for the rest of the year because it's tough to play without those trench guys being able to step up. So outside of 10, really no surprise for me. And shout out to Dalton Tucker being the guy to really show up. Joshua Merchant is coming in here. He's saying, love your show, fellas. I don't miss an episode. Just another random question. If you guys have time to discuss it, do you think we will extend Ryan Kelly, or do you think this will be his last year in a Colts uniform? You want to go first, Zach, or you want me to go first?
You go first. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, so, man, definitely appreciate you, Josh. And I see you, or Joshua. I see you every weekend here. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you chiming in every week. Chris, I see you in there as well. Chris Speedboat, or Speedman Jackson. It's a tough one, man, because I really like Ryan Kelly. I think he's one of the best centers in the league. Now we get to the point where it's like Ryan Kelly is one of the guys, like he's more outspoken and he speaks himself and says everything as far as what he likes and doesn't like and stuff. He wants to be paid. There was also some rumors about him potentially retiring. So that where it kind of worries me about what we would think. I personally think my personal thoughts is he would go out, have a big season and get paid. He hasn't necessarily had the same injury concerns as Braden Smith. But we did just draft Tanner Bortolini, which I personally don't. I think it looked better at center for him than guard, if I remember correctly. So it's tough to say exactly if I really think so. But if I'm just going off of my first basic instinct on what I think would happen, I would think that Ryan Kelly goes out, has a really good year, and we extend him.
Oh, I think he's gone no matter what. Like, I think Bortolini is going to replace Ryan Kelly simply because, like, there's too much money in the O-line right now. We got way too much money in the O-line, and we're supposed to build around a rookie quarterback, to expand that championship window. So, like, if he's into, if Ryan Kelly's into taking, like, a 2-year, hey, dog, here's $26 million, 2 years, $13 million guaranteed. million, in guaranteed incentives, and the other, everything else, is beyond that. But I just look at it like Colts have got to get younger up front and away. And while Ryan Kelly's healthy, I don't see him getting a third contract, especially from Ballard. He'd be the outside of Buckner. There's not going to be a whole lot of guys who get 3 contracts from Chris Ballard, not as long as he's GM. So I look at it like if Kelly goes out and balls out, I would almost assure you he's going to hit free agency, because I don't believe the Colts want to pay that tag, or I don't believe the Colts want to do that unless the Colts are petty and smack him with a franchise tag, which certainly could be a possibility, because I don't know how much a franchise tag is on a center. But if he wants paid, I'm sure the Colts will be like, all right, Bortolini needs another year of development and you balled out. We'll hit you with a franchise tag and that's it. And he'll play not this year, but next year on the franchise tag. To me, those are the only really 2 realistic options. Either dude plays so well he gets a contract from somebody else, or the Colts franchise tag him. And that's how he comes back next year.
So, so just looking at it here, he is already one of the top 5 paid at $12.4 million. The highest paid in the league is Creed Humphrey at $18 million. So I would propose this, right? So I would say if we were to do it and extend him, because we got our guy Sean King here saying we would bring back Ryan Kelly if he takes $9 million for a 1-year deal. But I know you said there's no way we bring him back either way. But I think potentially you give the rookie Bortolini a little bit more time to develop. I would say if we played out this year, what if we gave him a 2-year, $26 million, $20 million guaranteed deal?
To me, that's rich. Like
you think that's still rich?
I still, bro, for how old he is. For how old he is he going to be like Jason Kelce and age like fine wine?
I think so. I think centers do.
Most of them do. I mean, see, that's tough for me because yes, I want to keep AR upright. Mm-hmm. Sure, I do. That's important. But at the same time, I want to be able to afford that big money corner that's in free agency next year, or that big money safety, and not have to pay an offensive lineman $26 million if I don't have to, or $20 million if I don't have to. Especially when, me personally, I feel like Bortolini is going to be ready next year. Like this dude, if he played on any other team in the NFL, he would be a starter this year.
I'm trying to think, just because he's currently 31. So the 2-year deal would take him to about 33, 34 years old. And just giving him the $20 million guaranteed. And I mean, if he had, pretty much another strong year, I would see no reason not to pay unless there was injury or some kind of fall off. You think that's just too much to ask for at that? Because I mean, as long as AR is on a rookie contract, I don't see why you wouldn't pay guys that are still playing at a high level.
I mean, I would, but I don't want to. Again, my focus is our offense is legit. While it stays legit, I want the defense to be legit, and that's where our questions remain. So for me, I would like to spend our resources, our cap space. The biggest thing we have to attract free agents to a small market is money. I want to save as much as that to throw it at the guys to come in, the difference makers. While I do agree that Ryan Kelly, if healthy, I'd rather lose him a year early than keep him a year or 2 late. Belichick used to say that. I'd rather get rid of a guy early and see him go succeed 1 year somewhere else than watch him at year 2 start to fall off and be stuck with a huge cap hit that nobody wants.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I mean, I wouldn't even argue it because you also still got to think like I put out the 2 year, 26 million.
Right.
That's just a number that I put up. The number could be much larger that he's looking for. It could be
Mm-hmm.
2 years, 34 million or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's just the number that I put out. So I wouldn't argue with you there. So yeah, Josh, to answer your question, I would say as of right now, I think as long as he had a good year, just in my opinion, I think that he would stick around. But Zach definitely made some great points here. Don't see any reason why he would stay with how we need to continue to move forward to build this roster with his along with his age. Just coming to that point. But moving on here to the defensive line, man, we also kept 10 defensive linemen. It was a big shocker to me, especially after Samson Ebukam went down with the injury. We put him on IR, not season ending. So he has a chance to potentially return. But we have Adatami Adabare, Taven Bryan, who a lot of Colts fans are not happy with, stayed on the roster.
Dude's a bum.
Raekwon Davis, Isaiah Land, who surprised some folks. He's been playing really well, made the roster. Leatu Latu, Taekwon Lewis, Deo Odengbo, Kwity Paye, and Grover Stewart were the other finalists to make the defensive line as far as the roster goes. Our starting four, everybody should know who those are by now, which I personally still got some issue with. But again, I digress because I think I would rather have Latu finishing rather than starting. But we have Kwity Paye, Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner, and Taekwon Lewis as our four starting down linemen. Any surprises or anything you thought that should be changed there in that room?
Tevin Bryant. How's this dude on the team? Last year he was terrible versus the run. Dude was terrible versus the pass. I want the Tevin Bryant that went to Florida when Florida was legit. Give me that dude. And if that can happen, cool, but that hasn't happened since he's been in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So why is he on the roster? That's an open roster spot. You can go sign either another big space eater because, again, after Defoe subs out, you really don't have a true three technique besides Adewabare, which he looked incredible this year in preseason. So, I mean, he's the only complaint. Also think Latu needs to be starting. It's what's probably best for him. But that's about it. Everybody else I fully expect. Shout out to Isaiah Lamb because I think you're going to be nice in about, a couple years. I think he's going to be real nice.
Hold on real quick. I don't know who they're playing, but this is a little off topic. Jackson Dart, 22 for 27, 445 total yards with 6 touchdowns. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're playing right now, but oh my Lord, I just saw that stat line and thought that was insane. He's one of my risers too, man. I thought he was a fast riser, man. Lane Kiffin knows how to coach him damn often. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Taven Bryan is obviously one of my Gators guys. One of my guys. But it's just literally his pass rushing prowess. Everybody wants an experienced pass rusher, but I still think when you get beat to sleep in the run game, I don't really have much use for you as a defensive lineman. When you get tossed around like that, like the same reason we let Yannick Ngakoue go because he was not much of a threat at all in stopping the run. So, especially at defensive tackle. I mean, there aren't a ton of defensive tackles that really get out of your quarterback. So, the fact that he stuck around over somebody like who was our guy Jonah Lalu that we drafted, that could have developed to been potentially better. I thought that was a pretty good surprise to me. Outside of the rest, I thought all was pretty normal, but I completely agree. I just thought Taven Bryan should have been gone. I didn't see much reason to keep him.
No need to keep him.
Chris is chiming in on the Ryan Kelly topic there. He said, honestly, Ryan Kelly seemed like he was going to retire every offseason for the last 3 years or so. So I see why they're hesitant to extend him. And that's exactly the first thing that I had brought up as well. And then Sean King is saying here, Tevin Bryant's only on the team because his uncle is one of the coaches just playing, but that's what it seems like.
Probably.
Yeah, he definitely holding something over the head. Sean likes Isaiah Land. Yeah, I think Land definitely came on, man. And he started playing really well, really well. We move on to linebackers, in which we kept 5. I think this was no surprise here. This is exactly the same 5 that me and Trev, one of our co-hosts, predicted a couple weeks ago would be there. We got Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed, Grant Stewart, Segun Alube, and the rookie Jalen Carlisle. This is exactly who me and Trev predicted, so there was no surprise to me there at all. No shocker. I said 5. We kept 5. They're exactly the names who we thought. I didn't know if you had any.
I said that. I said that during training camp. Those would be the 5 guys that we keep at linebacker, with like Charles being. Is it Charles? However you say his last name, I'm gonna call him Charles. Carlisle.
There you go.
Carlisle. All right.
Yep.
With Carlisle being, the one who I'm in my opinion, I'm starting opposite of EJ and Zaire.
But, I believe the Sam. I believe the Sam is what he is.
Yeah, I'm starting with Sam. I mean, I think Alubi is, but I would start Carlisle. I want him to get reps. But yeah, those are the 5. I feel like that position, running back and linebacker, are Ballard's, meat and potatoes, butter, bread and butter.
Old gyms.
He's so good at finding those guys. Anywhere. Oh, that's a safety who can play linebacker. We got it. Like, I'm all for it. So it'll be interesting to see how the rookie does. But yeah, those 5 are the 5 that everyone thought and anticipated. It is what it is.
Yes, sir. Nathan is jumping us here to a different subject. He says, "Is this a make or break year for Gus or Ballard?" Whew.
Nathan, I'm gonna answer this. Hold on, let me pause. Pat, what is this? Are you a Patriots fan or are you a Jags fan, my guy? I hope Walker, Armstead, and such you all like. What are you? Are you a Patriots fan? You guys haven't been relevant since Brady because Belichick ain't shit. That's why he's not in the league. And the Jaguars have Gardner Minshew 2.0. So, like, what are you trying to prove? Like, nobody cares.
Appreciate you for watching, though.
Yeah, love the views. That helps. But let's get back to the real show. Is this a make or break year? Gus, I personally think it is. Yes, it is. Ballard, no, because Ballard's success will hinge on the success of Steichen and AR. And I truly believe Ballard found a legit head coach in Steichen, and I truly believe Steichen and AR are going to work out. So I believe Ballard will be around for the long haul. If we still look like trash defensively like we have under Gus, yeah, I think Gus is as good as gone.
Yeah, excuse me, everybody. My allergies is kicking my butt right now. I don't know what is happening. But personally, I don't think this is a make or break year for either of them. Steichen loves Gus. I don't know why. I don't know how. I wish he didn't. But we'll see, man. We've seen if you look at the preseason, don't know how much actually it really is, but we see some changes from Gus. We finally started changing up some coverages, some fronts. I think that had a lot to do with our new coach Charlie Partridge coming in, changing some of the scheme up a little bit. We played a bit more man to man. I wouldn't say a lot more, but we played a bit more. Yeah, so we changed up some things in the preseason. So it looks like Gus may be adapting. A zebra can change his stripes, apparently, as far as the preseason goes. So we'll see how that goes. As for Ballard, man, I know there are a lot of Fire Ballard fans in this fan base. but I personally don't think he's going anywhere for at least another 2 years. So if you hate Ballard, I hope you better love the Colts more and just stick along for the ride and see how it goes. I will not say that I love everything that he does. I absolutely hate his approach to free agency. But I just do think that he's going to be around for at least another 2 years. So we'll see how that goes, man. Don't think it's a make or break year for either of them, unless it just looks absolutely horrible for Gus. As for Pat's comment, I know Zach chomped in on that one. I don't know why you're waiting for the Jags to shut us down because you're tired of hearing about us, but you got the Patriots fan logo, and we play you guys this season, so you could have just said the Patriots, but we know how that game's gonna go. So I guess that's probably why
that walk-off TD looked kind of nice too a couple years ago.
So Taylor's gonna finish it.
That ass whipping in Germany was awesome too. Like I enjoyed that.
Exactly. And then Nathan here is saying, my boy, I feel bad for them. Gators look bad, but Clemson did too, man. Yeah, man. That's kind of why it's probably these tears I got going on. Maybe it's not allergies, probably from the Gators just getting whooped, man. So it's probably just coming back to me. And I'm trying not to cry right now. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, man, it was ugly. It was ugly. It'll take me about a week to recover. Luckily, the Colts play, and they can do the opposite for us. Dave Stewart is coming here on Pat's comment, says, we're tired of hearing about the Pats. Good news is that it'll take care of itself. Absolutely. We can't beat you. They can. Okay, so it makes sense. You're a Patriots fan hoping the Jags will kick our ass. So, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense, man. I will say nothing about us versus the Jags in Duval. I absolutely will not. I will not say that we will beat them over there until we can prove it. But at home, nope, it's not happening, Pat. Josh is saying here, if we don't have talent at safety or corner, that's more a Ballard problem than it is a Gus, or am I wrong? Not bashing Ballard. I am a fan of him. So actually, matter of fact, glad that you brought that up. So let's go ahead and jump into the secondary real quick, Zach, so we can get to his comment. We have our initial starting five, our initial cut down roster from the five. We have at cornerback, we had Darrell Baker Jr., who was recently just released, and we brought in. Why did I just forget his name? What was the name, Zach?
Orland.
Woodrow.
Warland, whatever it was. I don't know. San Francisco.
Yeah, cornerback from San Francisco that we brought in. Juju Brents, Dallas Flowers, Jalen Jones, and Kenny Moore. And then our safeties are Julian Blackman, Nick Cross, Trevor Deneville. Shout out to him for even making this initial 53-man roster. And Rodney Thomas. So to answer your question, Josh, man, the talent issue on safety or corner, it's not necessarily even a talent issue at corner. It's health. Like, we got two guys there. You got Dallas Flowers coming off an Achilles who still needs to make it back. There it is, Womack.
Yeah.
So you got Dallas Flowers who's coming off the Achilles. Your one nickel cornerback injury from Kenny Moore to just having no nickel cornerbacks. And then Juju Brents, who I don't want to blame the nose thing on him, but like ending up with a broken nose on a tackle, I mean, this is just freak injuries everywhere. And like, it's really not a guy's fault when it isn't like something that he can't control. But at the end of the day, we still need you on the field. And if you're not on the field, it kind of becomes a problem. So we let Darrell Baker go, and we got Womack, and so there's that. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a talent problem there. Now, if you look at safety, also, again, another thing that's not a talent problem. We're just really young and have communication issues. So if those areas continue to struggle, obvious the blame has to go on the players because they're on the field to make the plays. But Ballard, where he comes into blame is having the position or the money to be able to fix those issues, such as bringing in a Justin Simmons or a Quandre Diggs, where you can have a vet to say, here, I got a vet. He's been there. He's done it. If he messes up, this is on him. Ballard did not take that as a solution. So that's where it comes in on him. Um, so I'm a fan of Ballard's drafting. I absolutely hate his approach to free agency. So it all comes back on him. But I'm gonna tell you personally, I know a lot of these guys have been out on Ballard for longer than I have, especially Damon. He's probably the biggest guy who's been done with Ballard. But I'm getting tired of hearing the that's on me at the end of the season because we missed the playoffs. I'm personally tired of it.
All right, you want my take?
Yep, go ahead.
Just like Damon, I've been out on Ballard now like 3 years. Basically, I gave up on Ballard after he refused to do anything when we got rid of Wentz, and we went out and got Matt Ryan. Instead of drafting it. At that point, that's when I said, "All right, dude, like this guy's a clown." So Bargain bin Ballard strikes again. Like I understand the hate that that he gets. Can't say it's not earned because he's earned every bit of it. Being that hey, you have money. We always, for whatever reason, Indianapolis always finishes top 3 with cap space, and then doesn't spend it on anything. Like we just re-sign our guys instead of going out and paying big money to a guy like J.C. Jackson, who might have actually done shit in a different uniform other than a Charger uniform, or going out and spending money on a Jesse Bates from Cincinnati, knowing we have a glaring safety issue. So to say, not a fan of Ballard because he sees the obvious holes and only wants to address the holes through drafting and is overly confident in drafting ability and doesn't really want to spend any type of money on anybody unless it's an offensive or defensive lineman or a receiver that, he, in my opinion, lucked into when he got Pittman Jr. So to answer the question that is Tyrell Hubbard, how is talent not the problem? It absolutely is a problem. That's why I put half of this blame on.
Well, because no, he's asking me because I said talent was not the problem, and I don't personally think talent is the problem.
I don't think there's enough talent in our secondary. I think you got Kenny Moore. He's a building block. Cool. Yeah, you got another young guy like Jalen Jones, who you found in the 7th round. Cool. That's a young piece. That's one corner. Juju Brents is a walking injury. I truly think he's going to end up being a guy in a year where we're looking at like. So
you're basically agreeing with what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think Juju is an injury problem. I don't think Juju is a talent problem. The problem is his talent isn't on the field.
Right.
Is the problem.
Right. We need more talent.
That's what I'm saying.
We need more talent to be on the field at all times, and it's not. But I put it as in shame on Ballard on not seeing that talent and going out and getting it. Yes.
That's exactly. So that's what I mean when I say, Tyrell, that talent, how is talent not a problem? When you look at some of our cornerbacks, obviously Darrell Baker Jr., he's out of there. So Samuel Womack is the guy that replaces him. But when I look at Dallas Flowers, Juju Brents, Jalen Jones, Kenny Moore, I don't look at those guys and see talent being the problem. I think Juju has yet to be able to stay on the field for longer than
6 plays,
3 games in a row.
Yeah.
I think that was the most that he probably had. Kenny Moore is an undrafted guy. So when you see an undrafted guy, what is usually the question on them? It's typically going to be some speed or measurables. It's going to be the talent. So if we want to talk about talent, we can't sit here and overlook Kenny Moore as sitting here saying, where's the question on talent? Everybody has to prove it. Then you go to Julian Blackmon. He's talented. Nick Cross is talented. Rodney Thomas is talented. The guy came in and had 5 interceptions his rookie season, but then we have the issues where he can't tackle and makes communication mistakes. Like I said, I do not see talent. Like, we just suck. Like, go back to goddamn 2016. Those secondaries sucked.
Yeah.
Dudes were not talented. They shouldn't have been on a football field. That's a talent problem. These guys have other issues. So that's why I didn't say talent was my problem. Um, Pat, I say your secondary was your liability. Whether you make the playoffs or not, it will be your downfall. Pat,
That's
I
a
think
smart thing you've said
yeah, I was gonna
all
say
day, my guy. We
we
100% agree with this.
we are all in the same boat. Like we control none of what Ballard does. So exactly, yeah, the day that we fall off, we will all be preaching the same thing. If Ballard would have fixed the secondary, this probably doesn't happen. So Nathan is saying here, Louisville put up 62 points. My Cardinals got a nice team. Louisville's always scoring points, man. I don't know who their coach is currently. They
Former
always
Purdue
drop
coach,
points.
Brom.
Buckner and Stewart can't do it all alone if corners getting burnt. Well, the whole point is that's why we bring in Leatu Latu and then Kwity Paye is in the contract year. They like we're Ballard's pretty much his hope is that we shouldn't be getting burned. Is the whole hope there. Joshua is saying here, I personally thought we should have kept Romney Harrison Jr. I think he pretty much just got beat out to the point where he wasn't going to be able to play safety. Nobody wants to see this guy play safety. And then when we moved him over to linebacker, it was to help him out to, kind of find his areas of weakness. So when we couldn't find a spot for the linebacker for him with our starting five, that's kind of where he got the short end of the stick. So I was pretty surprised about it as well. But it's just like once you knew he wasn't playing linebacker, you kind of knew the guy wasn't going to make it at safety. I don't think you want to see him play safety, Zach.
I didn't care for him. I looked at it like he was a one year signing last year. I didn't expect him to make the roster this year whatsoever. So.
Yeah, appreciate you, Dave. That was Samuel Womack. Nathan Commands is saying, "Is Gay the make or break? Is this a make or break year at kicker?" So yeah, let's go ahead and get into those special teams. We have Rigoberto Sanchez, our punter, Luke Rose, long snapper, and Matt Gay, the kicker. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I've been yelling for a new kicker all off season, just because I feel like we were paying Matt Gay a little too much for how much he's up and down. This is almost like the first time we had him here, where it was like no consistency. Like you get the game versus Baltimore where he's hitting 4 over 50, 5 for 5 in the game overall. And then the next day he comes out and he, boom, can't hit anything 50, 40s, nothing. It goes 0 for 3. Like it's just been ridiculous. And I think when you pay a guy $20 million or $18 million, however much he got, $4 or $5 million a year at kicker, I think you need to be the surest thing on the goddamn team outside of Jonathan Taylor. At that point, like I just don't see like how we're even missing kicks. Like I get shit happens every once in a while, but you should be well above that 95 percentile mark as far as hitting kicks go. So I thought Spencer Schrader was solid, all camp games, everything. So me personally, I think if he don't fucking make all these goddamn kicks from here on out, I think it's a break year. You either keep Spencer Schrader or you go ahead and draft that kid out of Florida State that was knocking in those 50-yarders, 60-yarder, whatever the hell he had, and wasn't missing kicks. So that's where I'm
at. See, I don't know about Matt Gay. Because, like, if it's just an injury and, like, he comes back and he's fine, great. But the way I see it is, like, we still got Schrader on the practice squad.
Yes, we got him back.
So if the struggles do happen, you bump Gay down, you bump Schrader up, and until Gay proves to you that he can kick again, he kicks again.
I cut his ass. I don't give a damn.
Outside of that year with Vinatieri, where Vinatieri was missing all them kicks, and it was like mad frustrating.
I cut him too. I'm telling you right now. Look, bro, I got a picture with the GOAT out of Vinatieri. But I promise you right now, when he was on the team and he was missing those kicks in 2019, or was it 2020? I think it was 2020. 2020, and he was missing those goddamn kicks. I posted a picture with him and said, "Farewell, retired by GOAT, dog." Like I don't know, bro. I do not want to see a kicker missing kick.
I don't think I don't think it will continue to be an issue. But if it is, that Schroeder dude in preseason was money. So I'm confident in that. I just hate to put a guy on the practice squad making like $18 million a year, or however much he's making.
That's why I said,
It's a kicker, man.
out of there, dog. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Hopefully the time off will do him some good. You know, this break maybe allowed him to lock back in, get a little bit healthier, fix whatever issues he was going through. But I just kind of hope it was one of those things, coaches preseason. I'm not locked in. I don't really care. I'm just going out here kicking type stuff. And then, you know, during season when it matters, he makes it. But it's kicker. Kickers and punters aren't people, so it don't matter.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to cut you. You ain't making them goddamn kid. You are out of there, though. I'm sorry. I felt so bad for Vinatieri, but I was like, you gotta go. Hang it up, OG. This is a wrap. Joshua saying here, I just think we have bad luck when it comes to kickers because when he was with the Rams, he was in everything. He comes to us and can't hit nothing. Yeah, that's the part that sucks, man. And me personally,
played indoors like what, 10 games a year, 4 games at home, and then he played in
do the same thing. He do the same thing here though. The only difference is we got
like in Arizona where they kicked indoors, and then he played
Arizona where they kicked indoors, and the Rams they kick indoors. But here
6 games.
You got Indy and you got Houston, but you got Tennessee and you got Jacksonville. My thing is when we need those points, you can't fucking miss them, dog. Like if it's 55 plus, okay, I get it. You know, those ain't sure things. But you got a 48-yarder, bro. I need that to be a chip shot for you, dog, when you getting paid as much as you getting paid.
Second highest paid kicker in the league, or third highest. Whoa.
That's what I'm saying.
Third highest paid kicker in the league. So yeah, make them.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, hopefully Josh gets over it. Yo, what up, Chad? You late today, man, but appreciate you for coming in. I got Chad. Tyrell Hubbard is saying, do you guys believe in AR? Are you asking this because you do not believe in AR? I believe in AR.
I'm about 70-30 on AR. And I haven't shared this because I don't want to be like that dude that everyone's all like, you're a dick, dude. Like, you know, like when AR does good things, I'm in that 70%. So like when he makes, you know, the right read and does, you know, the things that our quarterbacks are supposed to do, I'm in that 70%. But like when he tries to do the whole like Carson Wentz and not let the play die type thing, which he hasn't done yet, I'm in that 30%. So like, do I believe he can be successful? 100%. Do I need to see more? Absolutely need to see more. Do I support the dude? Yeah, I went out and bought his jersey. Like, I went out and got his jersey the night he got drafted. Like, so
sounds like you believe.
Like, I absolutely believe in AR. HR is bad. Anthony Richardson, though, he's dope. I fully believe in AR. I just hope that he's more consistent this year and healthy. That's all.
Yeah, Tyrell said he's 50-50, man. He's 50-50 on AR, man. I believe in AR, man. I think as long as he's healthy, I want to see him on the field. Me being a Gators fan, I know exactly the 50-50 that you need and how it is. I think you always got to – obviously, guys got to come in and prove it.
He's way better now than what he was at Florida, man.
I know, and that's what I'm saying, but he still has some struggles there, and people are going to be pissed off when he missed some of those easy throws that you think like, hey, this is a layup, you should hit this, and people are going to be pissed off that if he don't hit it. But the thing is, you got to remember, AR, we're not – as far as his first 2 years goes, we can't be worried about accuracy and those type of things. We need to remember that the type of playmaker he is he an eraser? When things go bad, when things look ugly, can he erase those plays and make coach look good, make his teammates look good? Those are the type of things that we need to look for. And in year 3, 4, those are the type of years that we want to see, okay, now we need you to hit those layups. So I understand the 50-50, but I'm just telling you, as long as he stay healthy, you got to believe, man. Just go back and watch that Rams game, and that'll tell you all you need to know about the guy, man. I think you just got to believe him. You got to just stay hopeful with it.
Yeah.
Chad is saying here a lot of games are won or lost on field goals. Absolutely. That's why I can't do it with kickers, bro. I can't. I simply I don't know what it is. Like I usually have optimism for every position on the field outside of kicker. Because kicker, you only get that chance to make that kick. It can be one kick with the game on the line. You miss that kick, it's over with. Now, if you like a running back or a receiver, you can have a fumble or a quarterback, you throw an interception. Guess what? You can come back out there, you play another down, boom, you can make a play. Kicker, that's it for you, dog. Chad is saying here, I hope he stays healthy this season. Dave Stewart saying here, we had Vinny kicking like a god for 10 years. Only the last few years it been a problem. Yeah, I love my guy. Like I said, man, I got a picture for him, and a picture with him, and I felt bad when I was like, had to see him miss those kicks, and I was just like, Vinny, I need you to hang it up, bro, so I ain't got to be pissed at you. Like, that's the type of stuff that I be on with players. I'll be ready to be like, y'all got to retire so I don't got to hate on you too bad, you know? David saying AR is young, will have ups and downs, basically a rookie. I do want to address this, though. So, Zach, I don't know if you remember, but I told you guys that you guys didn't need to watch Ballard's press conference because it was like the same old.
Yeah, I watched it anyway. Yeah, word salad.
So I will say, he said two things that stuck out to me. The whole thing when James Boyd asked Chris Ballard, did he think he was the man for the job? And Ballard says, hey, I believe in what I believe in. And if that's going to get me fired, then so be it. He was also asked that if he believes this is pretty much basically a rookie year for Anthony Richardson. He says no. This is his second year. Do you believe personally, so like what David's saying here too, because this is what I've also believed, that Anthony Richardson is basically a rookie. Do you think the expectations for him is to look like a second-year quarterback in his true second year? Or do you think that, you know, what Ballard said about this being year two holds some weight and that we should actually see, you know, this start to be that second-year type of breakout that you see from the quarterback?
Okay. Ballard said a lot of stupid shit, i.e. Nick Cross. Oh, he's going to be great. Oh, he's going to be a dog. So here we are thinking we all got Bob Sanders 2.0 right, and dude comes out and shits the bed, right? Everything Ballard says, I automatically now take with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, maybe mentally, because that's the only thing you can compare it to, mentally, AR got, you know, those mental reps that are needed from being injured, but still being in the quarterback meetings, still being in the film, still doing all the quarterback room stuff. So essentially being a clipboard quarterback, AR got all of that. What AR is missing is what I believe truly makes a quarterback, and that is the live game action reps. So during the game, mentally, and this, I believe this, the NFL, they always say is like, what, 90% mental, 10% physical? Because everybody is good in the league. Guys from, you know, your starters on down to your backups. Everybody's good. It's just super minute details that determine, based on what players have said, who's your starter, who's your backup, who's your third string, who's your practice squad. It's all in the details and how you practice. So I believe mentally AR is probably where he should be. He might even be ahead. But physically seeing those reps, getting those reps, the in-game speed, the in-game adjustment, feeling pause, not weird, but feeling how dudes rush, feeling that pocket collapse around you, stuff like that, that is quintessential for rookie quarterbacks. So in that aspect, I do expect him to struggle and almost be a pseudo rookie year. Do I think he can put up really good numbers being a rookie, being that it's his first year playing? Absolutely. Do I think he can be a 3,000-yard passer and a 1,000-yard rusher? 1,000%. To me, if he has 3,000 yards passing and anywhere between 800 to 1,000 yards rushing, AR MVP. It's certainly possible in this offense. So mentally, he's a second year quarterback, but on reps on field, until I see him do it consistently versus live reps, he's a rookie.
I love that. No lie. I agree, man. The reason I just want to ask that just because the fact that he put it out there and said, we obviously should expect some struggles and stuff. But he did not say that. He basically was saying like he wants to see some improvement from AR. So, like you said, take it with a grain of salt. So I do agree. I think that the fact that you said mentally he got all he needed, and which is why if we go back to last year when we drafted AR, I didn't want him to start until week 3.
Right.
That was specifically my point, was for that mental and then to get that physical.
Do I think he'll come out and be like Mahomes, just off the bench and win fucking league MVP?
No.
Absolutely not. No way. That's Mahomes. Mahomes is the outlier to the 100%. Like Mahomes is the one dude in league history who's going to do that. Besides like Earl Campbell, who did it at running back. But like Mahomes is the one guy who's going to do that. But I don't believe it's crazy to sit here and say at the end of the year, hey, Anthony Richardson's in MVP conversation. He didn't win the MVP, but he was in that conversation. Anthony Richardson could be the sole reason why the Colts get back to the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. He might be the sole reason we win the South. His play and his play alone. So I take anything he does on the field this year, I look at it like, yes, it is his pseudo rookie year. But I fully think he'll be a little bit more advanced, a little bit. I don't know. A little bit better than what we were anticipating. I feel like he kind of aged like fine wine. You let wine, again, hey, we sell wine now on ZTV. Get your wine from ZTV. Like, here's a shameless plug. I'm about that.
I believe it said 23andMe.
23andMe wine, whatever.
23.com or something.
Joey, you're here. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Get your wine from the wine place. But
yes, sir.
AR is going to, age like fine wine. And I truly believe that that's what this year was. It was allowed him to mentally age, get a little bit better, because he has all that in a bag of chips physically. Yeah.
Totally agree. I mean, I think I wouldn't even say I would expect something to see wild. I think we need to see him for the first time. I mean, what we got out of the first 4 or 5 games was a teaser. So totally agree with Zach there, man. I think everybody, just have your popcorn ready. We're gonna see some ups and some downs, but I think you got to take the good with the bad. And this is just how it's gonna come. We got to remember.
Basically, there it is. Come on.
D-Rez
there it is. Get your wine. 23wines.com. There we go.
There we go. Go check out your wines. D-Rez, Deshaun, don't know which part you were saying facts to, but definitely appreciate that vouch there. ZTV says, what's up, guys? I've seen a couple follows there. Appreciate you following us back. Dave Stewart says, Ballard said in the press conference that he effed up with Nick Cross by saying he was really good. Said it, as you say, put a target on him, and said he's not doing that with AR. Dave, I get what you're saying here, but I thought this was crap, dude. I thought this comment here from Ballard was crap just because of the fact that he said that it's not his fault that we drafted him when he was 20 years old. Somebody was going to draft him.
Homie, it is your fault.
His age shouldn't matter. No, he said it's not Nick Cross' fault that we drafted him at 20 years old. But the point is somebody would have drafted him. He declared for the draft. He was going to be a player. So the part that's our fault is not making sure that he got the communication down and the understanding and all the work that he needed to be the player that he was supposed to be. So I hated his whole little soliloquy that he had about Nick Cross. Whatever the case may be, I don't give a damn what it is. We could draft you when you're 18 years old. We drafted you because you're a damn football player. So when you come into the league, whatever you're not good at, they should be ready to work on with you. That's where I was at with that.
I also feel like if Ballard and his boys knew that he was that young, why do you trade up and take him so early? bro, if he's that young and you want him to develop, that's a 5th or 6th, 7th round pick who, hey, bud, you didn't make the team, but we'll put you on the practice squad and, let you develop
learn
for 2 years. Yeah,
exactly.
But you gave up a future 3rd round pick and moved up back into the 3rd round to get a dude who's 3 years into his career and he's got 1 year left on his contract and he's just now looking like, hey, he might be worth that 3rd round pick. Yeah. Can't be having that.
Yeah. That's why I didn't I personally I hear where you're coming from, Dave, but I did not like his Nick Cross spiel there. Tyrell saying here, I think fans will be split on AR if he comes out looking bad.
I agree with this, but
I personally don't care where fans sit. Because me personally, when fans want to sit there and trash one guy, I'm not trying to cut you off, Zach, but I just hate that everybody sits here and acts like Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck did not struggle. Peyton Manning threw a shit ton of interceptions as a rookie. 28 of them. Andrew Luck threw a shit ton of interceptions as a rookie. 18 of them.
Yep.
So, I don't care what fans really think that, I don't know why they act like we had Patrick Mahomes that came out and threw 50 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions or something. That's not even what he did his rookie season, but just putting the point out there. Fans need to relax. I don't know where these lofty expectations are coming from, and we're just supposed to win a Super Bowl tomorrow. Fans need to relax. And I hope there's a lot of them out there listening to me right now, because you guys' expectations of what you expect is just ridiculous. I'm telling you right now, go back and look at rookie year Josh Allen. That's what I expect of AR, but to be a better version of that. So I don't understand where fans are coming from on that, man. They can keep being split, but I just don't see it.
I think it's just that Colts fans got spoiled. Colts fans had 16 years? 16 years of Manning, of which, besides 1 year. That's what I said, 16. Oh, 13? 13 years of Manning, my bad. Colts had 13 years of Manning, and they all forget, that first year. But literally, since Manning took over, all they did was win. So Colts fans got spoiled with the winning. That's their first taste of success. And then with Luck, oh, hey, Manning's hurt. He's old. The Colts endure 1 year of sucking, and then they go out and get, Luck. And again, all Luck did when he got here, I get it. He won 11-5, 11-5, 11-5, 11-5. Oops, the dude retired. So this is the first time in a minute that the Colts have been pretty trash. So I understand that the fans want a winner. I get that. So I understand where they get that, that we're split on them because we've been spoiled with good quarterbacks. I feel you. But I also feel like AR's one man on this team. You've heard him say it before. If I do my job and I can do my job consistently, we should win. I truly feel like as long as AR doesn't do too much, the Colts will be fine. So hopefully they don't view him indifferent. I can tell you that the way he plays the game is something that Colts fans in Indianapolis hasn't ever seen. We see that on Saturdays. We don't see that on Sundays. So that's exciting in that aspect. I look forward to that.
I think the thing that will make fans love him even more is the fact that if he plays, just play every game or play as many as he can. Don't miss most of the season and stuff like that.
Just play ball.
Yeah, just play. Just be able to play, and you'll win over fans. Because just like you said, even when we came out with Andrew Luck, we won the division 3 years in a row or whatever it was, or 2 years. But we still end up not winning the division until or haven't won it since 2014, which is Andrew Luck's final season winning it, and Andrew Luck didn't retire until 2019. So the fact that fans still hold on to that is crazy to me. They're trying to push it on the AR like we need to win it right now. I get it's been a while, but we need to give him that same grace that we did when, if you were alive at the time, watch Peyton Manning go 3-13, because I was alive and I watched it, and all I loved to see was great football being played by Peyton Manning, whether he threw the interceptions or not. So, Chad is saying here, seeing how he handles getting smoked and how he plays after that. I think we learned, like I said, I think we learned a ton in that Rams game. And I think the fact that he's so young and mature at the same time, he doesn't take anything too seriously as far as like making a mistake and being able to know, like, damn, I messed up, but still being able to come back to say, I can make up for it. That's the part that we need to realize. That's who we have at quarterback. Like, that's what you love to see when you know you got a quarterback who can make a mistake and know, just get me the ball again and I can come back and make another play. Dave Stewart says here, half the pundits said sit him out 1 year, half the other said play him. Basically did both. And this is why I said that he just needed 2 games to see. I think those 2 games, obviously it's too late, but I just think if 2023 he's watching those first 2 games and seeing Gardner Minshew play, he sees the speed. He sees what people do. He can go back in the office and watch film, break it down, see what happened, what went wrong, what could have went, blah, blah, blah. I think those games would have made the biggest difference for him. Obviously, things went the other way. He ended up getting hurt, which was another freak accident, because I think it's crazy how some quarterbacks, they fall backwards, fall on their wrists. Their wrist is done for the year. AR tackled, his shoulder's done for the year. You see quarterbacks hitting the fucking helicopter and taking on defensive linemen at the 1 yard line, and they stay up healthy, which I think is freak accidents. So it could go any way, but I just think that those 2 games would have been crucial for him. But I think he should have learned his lesson. Chad says, although the O-line looked decent so far, they look great. Got the wines up there again. Go check out 23wines.com. Wine is a great cause, so go check it out. Go look back at that promo as well at the 8:50 time mark. Go ahead and check out that video. Dave Stewart says talking about Nick Cross here, and I think he meant moving up to draft him as a 3rd. No, I totally get that point, but the thing is like when a player declared for the draft, right? Regardless of their age, somebody may draft them. So it doesn't matter if he was a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th round undrafted, like, you declared for the draft. So, like, you should know or learn what this kid's weakness was when they come in. You can't sit here and say, that's on me because I drafted you too young. Like, it doesn't matter. His age is what it is. Like, you chose to pick a player because you thought it'd be a good player, not regardless of his age. So I'm not trying to give Cross a pass. I'm not trying to give Ballard a pass. I'm just saying that, like, you got to realize that's what it was there. Dave Stewart is also saying here, Johnny U, Burt Jones, Manning, Luck, a lot of great QBs, even Harbaugh running Marshall Broda offense that we should have gone to a Super Bowl. Exactly. A lot of years that we missed out on, that Colts fans act like we were, so spoiled to the point where, like, we were winning every year. You go back and look, we are the highest franchise to go one and done. I want to say, Zach, do you know the record off the top of your head? I think it's 9 one and dones.
Yeah,
making the playoffs and being done in the first round.
Yeah, we're the most in NFL history.
That's the most in NFL history. So the fact that we as Colts fans act like we're so spoiled for our one Super Bowl is just crazy to me, to drop it all on Anthony Richardson and say, hey, I need it now. Like, that's just how you get into this microwave world where we're like, hey, I need to get this done ASAP. And that's just not the case, man. Chad said we got Rivers and went 11-5. Another example. We didn't beat the Buffalo Bills. Ballard talked about that one too. Chad said, granted, he couldn't win in the playoffs, but we were still winning. And those are character traits we need, talking about Anthony Richardson. So, yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, I just hope there's a lot of Colts fans out there watching. I'm not saying necessarily temper your expectations like we shouldn't make the playoffs because I believe we have a playoff team. I think Anthony Richardson has some struggles to go through and get over, but I think he should be able to play playoff winning QB ball. Um, and I do think that we should have the capability to win this division. And so, um, I just I the only reason I say to temper expectations is to say to put all the pressure on Anthony Richardson, as if he can't be a guy down the road. Like we got to remember, like players don't just develop overnight. Yes, we see some that look like they do, but we got to remember to relax on this guy and let him keep growing because this is literally his what? This will be his 18th game.
Who?
Anthony Richardson. Yeah, overall in college and NFL, this will be his 18th game.
It'll be his 18th game.
18th game in week 1 since high school. So we need to relax.
It'll be like his fourth game. It'll be his fourth game playing.
Or no, fifth in the NFL. Yeah, fifth in the NFL as a starter. So we need to remember, we're gonna see some ups, we're gonna see some downs. And I will tell everybody, just go put the Rams game on repeat. Put it on repeat and just watch that first half where it was like we couldn't do a thing. And then watch the second half where it was like we were almost unstoppable. So outside of a few penalties in that game, not being able to guard Puka Nacua that game, like it was just one of those games where you could really see the difference. Dave Stewart chimed in here, dropped a comment, said, we need to stay healthy. If we don't, playoffs will be very hard to make. I will say I agree with that just because the AFC is so loaded. But I mean, even still, I mean, obviously, I think this is just my personal opinion because I don't think Ballard is going anywhere for at least the next 2 years. I think that's just front office wise. But I think that Ballard's future should depend upon the playoffs because if we don't make the playoffs, I feel like he just left us too many questions as far as veterans in the cornerback room and then a certified safety that we could call a guy is something that he could have fixed. But I think that not making the playoffs would be very detrimental. Like I think what we saw last year, what we did with Gardner Minshew, I think not making the playoffs would be a travesty.
Yeah, I agree. It's playoffs or bust. I feel like if the Colts don't make the playoffs this year, whether Irsay wants to make them or not, the Irsay family, who's ever in charge, those tough decisions will have to be asked because Ballard technically is responsible for what happens on the field to an extent where, like, he buys the groceries, Shane cooks the meal. So while some of that falls on Shane, I do agree.
Shane be cooking.
A lot of that falls on Ballard, and I truly feel like if we're not in the playoffs this year, Ballard needs to be gone. Yes, I do feel that way. I am a part of that sentiment that feels that way.
Yeah. So that's where I mean where Colts fans might want to brace themselves because I think even if we don't make the playoffs, I don't think Ballard is going anywhere. As long as we don't look like the 2022 Colts, I think he's pretty safe. But he's definitely got to get over himself with this free agency stuff. Gus not blitzing, hobbling Stafford. I thought that was pretty crucial as well. But I think also, even if we didn't blitz, I thought the communication was where we messed up just because nobody knew who was guarding Puka. And it seemed to be something that happens a lot to us for whatever reason. But I think that's another thing that should be on coaching. Chad is saying here, does Ballard have a job if we don't make the playoffs? And I'm going to say this right now. Regrettably so. I think so. I think he keeps his job Like if we're like on the cusp, just like we were last year, it's going to be another year of that's on me. We're going to hear the same speech, the same tired ass stuff that he gives us every year. And I think he does keep his job. I'm not going to say I'm happy about it, but I think that he will still have a job just because he's tied to Shane and what Shane is capable of doing. And obviously, we know that, Anthony Richardson, this is basically his rookie year. So it's kind of like, where do you really go with it? But if it's like something that like in Houston last year, week 1, boom, first play, or week 18, first play of the game, and they score, off of miscommunication. It's like, well, how do we keep letting Ballard slide? And I just think it's something that he'll get past for at least another year or two, just because of the fact that we're betting on our quarterback being something that we haven't had in Ballard's tenure at all. I think personally, if it was up to me, if we miss the playoffs, he's out. That should be it. But I don't think he'll be gone.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. It's a tough one to have to face reality, in that situation, to be like, damn, I want him out if we don't make it this year, but to know that he'll probably still have a job. It's a tough one to face, but we have to
It's
face
not
that
that.
reality.
I mean, for me, it's a multitude of things that I want Ballard out for. Like Ballard, it's the free agency shit that drives me insane.
Yep.
Drives me absolutely up a wall. I don't question the man's drafting ability. He's earned that right with proven finding dudes in the league. I get it. Finding dudes in the draft that becomes dudes in the league. So when it comes to drafting, I don't really complain about Ballard. It's everything else the man does. Either he gives you too much of a good thing or not enough of another thing.
Yeah, man, it's a tough one because we have to sit here and face the reality, and he'll sit there and say, for our fans, we wish we could have did it for our fans, blah, 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 blah. But we'll have to see how it goes. We did get through the entire roster there. So we got through special teams and everybody. But just want to remind everybody, we are just 8 days away from game day. The Colts will officially open up the season. We are done waiting. It has made it back to us. We are ready to see some Colts football and ready to get this thing going. Dave Stewart saying here, the one thing that I disagree with Ballard was releasing Isaiah Rodgers. Yeah, I hate it. I keep saying it, dude. Yeah, I'm crazy. But Chad says, yes, the Colts are on the way. We're finally going to get to see some actual Colts football and got to keep talking about how the season may go, what we think we may see. But we got it coming up here. Zach, you want to do a little preview? Anything that you expect to see from the Colts or from this game? I wouldn't say dive too deep because we still will have one more show before the games actually be played. But anything that you're looking forward to in the week 1 matchup, September 8th with Houston.
Yeah, just run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball.
Just run the damn ball. Hey, DeMarco, I got to get off here, man.
For sure. Oh, I said, I said something right. Yeah, man. Yeah, me as well. Run the ball, play good defense, no miscommunications. Let's get it going. Appreciate everybody who came through tonight. Appreciate all the fans. Open the house. It was loud as hell for the opener. Appreciate all of you guys that came through. We'll definitely make sure to keep this thing rocking. And we'll have a show for you guys next Saturday. I'm hoping everybody comes through, all my guys. We definitely will be ready to have everything going for you guys, have a breakdown for you guys on how we think the game may go, what the score will be, and who we pick for our winners. Appreciate all you guys who came through. As always, each and every week, peace out to our supportive fans. and all the new people that came through as well. Appreciate you guys, man. And as always, we are ready for the regular season, baby. Go Colts.
Second down, he fakes the Taylor, fires over the middle, completes.